Howdy kids, and welcome to yet another before and after, and this one's kind of special. Before I get started, I want to say thank you to everybody who's been watching my videos and giving me likes and subscribes. I do this solely because I love settlement building, and it's very gratifying that you folks like what I do. I appreciate it. So here's the deal. This is the castle. Everybody knows the castle. I came to the castle through an initial quest, and I did a little bit of playing around in here, and I laid out some crops, and I tried making ammunition. Is it making? Oh, look, I have some ammunition. So anyway, I didn't do anything to it. I looked at these walls and I went, man, this is just a complete mess, and I'm not going to be able to do anything with this. So I blocked it off as best I could, just to make sure that, you know, hordes of raiders couldn't come running in the door. I put up stairs so that it would be easier to get around to the top from both sides. But other than that, I really did next to nothing. There's Piper, who I told to stay there. But I really haven't done anything with it other than just patching some things up. I'm taking a look around because I went back to like my 13 days of play. I don't know how many beds are in here yet. But even like the wiring I did it was cursory wiring. Is when I was still trying to figure out how to use wiring. Like, hey, let me try using a switch. Yeah, see, there's all still like debris on the floors, and I did put lights in. I ran wires all the way through so that I could put lights in the bedrooms, which eventually I took out. But this is pretty much all that I've done to the castle at the 13-day mark. Well, I was thinking about it. I've gone through so many other settlements, and I've done so much of them and cleaned them up and built something out of them, and I really have kind of come up with a formula for NPCs, which I'll get into in a minute. If I just take a look and see what the current stats are way back when. So its happiness is at 80%. There isn't much here. There's not much food. There's not much water. There's only 22 settlers and 27 beds. I was just getting started. Well, so anyway, over the past month, I decided to go back in. See, I get in here and I'm like, oh, wait, let me delete that. Oh, wait, let me delete this. Here, look. Bye. So anyway, so I revisited the place and I thought, you know, where the beds are is kind of cool because it gives you a lot of space to put beds. But there really isn't much you can do with it. It's narrow hallways, and it's not really a good place for shops or anything. So anyway, I revisited it, and having learned as much as I've learned since I've been doing all this building, I thought, let me take a look at the castle one more time, and I think you'll be pleased at what I came up with. It's radically changed, and yet I still kept Kit out there. It's radically changed. I got rid. I didn't see. I'm sorry, I'm tripping over myself here. One of the things I love is building onto existing structures. Yes, it's all fine and well to go out in the middle of an empty field and build a building, but that's easy picking. It's low-hanging fruit. To come into a space like this and make something out of it is a whole nother ball of wax. So that's what I did with the castle. I built, you'll see. I built in areas you wouldn't expect, and I think it came out pretty decent. So let's go take a look at what the castle looks like now. So welcome to the new and vastly improved castle. I'll walk you around and show you what I did.
Don't much care for good neighbor.
Yeah.
Nothing but trouble.
Yeah, but Cleo's got good stuff.
Lost track of how many blisters I got.
Yeah, I got blisters on my fingers. So here's what I did. First of all, I've sort of gotten to the point where I'm building pretty modularly, meaning all my builds are NPC-centric. Okay, when I build a settlement, it's to get settler happiness. Settlers need a bed with a roof over it, They need food, they need water, they need power, they need defense, and they need extra things to make them happy, like exercise equipment. So that's when I build, those are the things that I'm trying to put in.
Another day of hard work. Never changes.
No, it doesn't. Well, so what I've started doing is instead of doing these big massive rooms with like 28 beds in them, I've started making individual apartments. And I've gotten it to the point where I've kind of have it down to a science. They all kind of look the same, yes, but they do what I need them to do, which is they support the settlers. So here's an example of, this is a small apartment. It has a bed, a night table, a candle, and a deck outside. Now you'll see on some of the more advanced ones, the decks actually have stuff on them. You'll notice there's a greenhouse over the deck so they don't get wet when it's raining. But in the more advanced apartments, they have a fire barrel and a place to sit. And I'll get to that in a minute. So initially, I just built these apartments up along the edge. Now, the way that I have to do that is I start by laying floors right along this edge, and I get it as close to straight as I can all the way across. And now here's what an apartment looks like now. It has a piece of exercise gear, it has a bed with a night table, it has a piece of art, it has a place to sit, and it has a fire barrel. And all of the bigger apartments all have the same things. Now, I built these all the way around. And I got to the point, I like having the space between them. So they really are like individual apartments. And then it occurred to me, you know, I could use that space and it's still within the boundaries. If you look, my boundaries here are pretty wide. The green line is where my boundary is. I have a pretty decent boundary out there, so I still have some space to build in. So here's what I did. I took that space and I had to use a double thick floor. This is interesting. Floors will only let you put a ladder to the left or the right. You cannot put it in the middle. Unless it's a second story floor, an upper level floor. An upper level floor will let you put a ladder in the middle. So what I did is I replaced this piece of floor with an upper level floor, which allowed me to put a ladder in the center, a ladder stairs. And then I built this down here.
My back hurts, my feet hurt.
Yeah.
Everything hurts.
So each one of these quote-unquote apartments has 2 beds, a couch, a fire barrel, and one piece of exercise equipment. And as you can see, the NPCs really like it, which is awesome. Let's see what else. Like I said, I haven't really done anything at all with the rooms that are off to the side. I just haven't. I knocked all the brick out of these windows, so the windows were open to the outside, and I put candles in them. I took the lights out, so it's better sleeping, but I haven't really done anything with night tables or candles or anything like that in any of these. I filled all of this in with crops, as many crops as I could fit. In this open space, there's crops all the way around the outside edge, with the exception of that edge. And this is all filled with crops. I varied it a little bit. The best crop is mute fruit because it gives you the most food points for a build. But I wanted to vary it a little bit. So there are some carrots and some corn. And now 2 of these have lower levels with apartments. But I also did. There's a big pile of debris in one corner of the castle that you can't get rid of. It's right over here. This pile just doesn't go anywhere. You can't use the console command to get rid of it. It deletes the whole castle. So what I did was I put solid blocks of foundation here with stairs, and I did a bar. That sound that you hear is exercise equipment on the roof.
Yeah.
But this has a couple of beds. It has a lounge area, has a bar. It has a little bit of exercise equipment, and NPCs even hang out there during the day, which is kind of cool. I put a booth around the radio desk, and I put some seating areas around it. On the outside, let me run outside. I cleaned up this whole entrance. I got rid of as much debris as I could. And out here, I love this view. Hang on. I like running all the way out and then turning around and looking at it. So I cleaned up the outside. I hope the spotlights are working, please. No, of course. Oh, yes, they are. Well, one of them is. I hate that when the spotlights all of a sudden don't work. There's a spotlight right there and it's not on, even though it's wired up. If I go in and turn the power off and turn it back on, poof, the spotlight will... You know what? I'm going to do that. Hang on. This is a Fallout 4 glitch. If you, Yes. No, I have to go up. I turn this off, everybody's power goes out, and then I turn it back on. Now when I go back out there, where am I? There we go. Now if I go out there, all the spotlights will be working again. Very weird. Right over here. There we go. Now the spotlights are working. I love the way that looks. Now I did two sides like this with the big posts. I don't like, you know, I take a certain amount of liberty about big steel things hanging out over the edge. I just go, oh, steel would be that strong, but you know, it would have supports. So I put those supports in on both sides here to kind of shore up this whole monstrosity that I built. I did that here, and I did it. This is where the restaurant is up here. I used Institute glass on that. And I just put flats to hold up the side here. But on both sides where you walk up to the place, ta-da, same thing here. And on this side, I only have crops on one side because there's debris over here that I can't get rid of. On the other side, there's crops on both sides going all the way down. Yeah, there's crops over here and there's crops over here. I have the water buried outside where it's very unlikely that it'll get attacked by raiders. Yeah, let me just run around. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I put it on the ocean side. Well, on the water side. Right over... Oh, no, it's all the way around. Yeah, I did put it on the ocean side. Right here. There we go. I got lots of water here. And I think that's probably it. All of this is running off one reactor, which is pretty awesome. I've been very careful about not inviting too many settlers in, but at this point, I think I still have, we'll look at the numbers in a second, but I think I still have enough beds that I could add some more, settlers. Let's just take a look. I'll walk up while we're doing. Oh, I couldn't bear to get rid of this door. I just thought it was so cool looking. I'm never going to close it ever again, but I put some lights on the end of it just for fun.
You hear about that farm run by ghouls?
Ghouls? No, I know the one about robots. So anyway, I really like the way this came out. Let's take a look at the numbers. So, 62 settlers, 287 food, 180 water, 100 power, 190 in defense, and 81 beds, which means I have like 18 beds left, 17 beds, something. Anyway, so I still have some room to grow. I just don't want it to get to the point, somewhere around the 80 or 90 mark in settlers, things start acting a little squirrely, and I love the way the settlement came out. And I don't want to do anything to screw it up. It is awfully pretty, isn't it? And the numbers are good, so I can't complain. I still have a little bit of cleanup work to do. Like, for instance, some of these decks don't have exercise gear or fire barrels yet. I'll get to that. One of the things with fire barrels is you constantly need oil. By the way, if you need oil, go see Cleo. She's got shipments of it. But she only has so much, so you have to keep going back to get more. Anyway, that is my castle build, and I'm really happy with it, and I'm particularly happy because nothing is glitching. All of these living areas all managed to be in the boundaries of the original castle. I do have the extended settlements mod running, which widens the area of your settlement, but all of these living areas ended up being within the boundaries of the castle. So NPCs moved right in and started using the beds. I can't tell you how much I love it. It may sound silly, but I love it when you set up rooms and you set up beds, and the next thing you know, you're sitting across here watching, and you watch NPCs walk in for the first time and just pick a bed for themselves, and bang, you know you did your job. So yeah, I'm very happy with not just the way this looks and not just how it's functioning numbers wise, but the fact that the NPCs are using it, because to me that's like the hallmark of success for me, is having the NPCs use it and not glitch around. I found things like there are weird things where if you put a stair to one side, an NPC will like walk up 2 stairs and then stop and then trip through the stairs and come back down, and they'll spend a half hour doing that and they'll never get up to their bed. So I've had to move some paths here and there, but I mean, look, a whole bunch of people are using the beds. See this guy right here. He's probably supposed to be in a bed, but he's just standing there staring. Anyway, that's my build of the castle. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you again for the likes and the subscribes. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please do. It does make a difference. And more as it occurs. I have about 5 settlements backed up to show you guys, but again, I so appreciate that you appreciate this stuff. And
you ain't been up to see Grey God?
Yes, I have. I worked on it, buddy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna close out with the TCL shot, seeing as most everybody's asleep now. So you can get a look at what it looks like from a distance. Thank you as always for watching, and as I always say, take good care of yourselves.
5 a.m. This is Radio Freedom, voice of the Minutemen. Nothing new to report. Keep it tuned here for Minutemen alerts. This is Radio Freedom, broadcasting all day, all across the Commonwealth. All quiet here. Stay tuned for Minutemen alerts. a.m. All's quiet across the Commonwealth. Stay safe out there. You're tuned to Radio Freedom, voice of the Minutemen. Nothing to report. Stay safe, people. This is Radio Freedom, broadcasting all day, all across the Commonwealth. Nothing to report at the moment. Stay tuned for updates. You're tuned to Radio Freedom, voice of the Minutemen. Nothing to report.